So, just want to say, just want to say to everyone that thanks for clicking. And I've been away for some time, so I haven't posted a video in a few weeks. But I'm back, and we'll try to upload 2 to 3 videos every week from now on, or at least one, because life is just I'm a little bit busy at the moment. Everyone is in lockdown, but hey, I'm still hustling, man. Just been busy. So my last video I spoke about the Chinese silent army in Africa and how they slowly but surely are taking over. One of the things I mentioned is how the Chinese have managed to have a Bank of China in almost every African country where there is a big population of Chinese. And this is siphoning and giving money to its people. When they have money, they can buy land. Land in Africa is very cheap. They can buy land, and then they're gonna have factories. I heard a long time ago, Mozambique used to be like a rice hub. Mozambique used to grow a lot of rice. And over time, for some reason, Africans have made up more sort of a conscious decision to say, there is no money in farming, and no one cares about farming anymore. So what the Chinese have done, they've bought massive lands of land in Mozambique, and Mozambique is close. He has its own port. So what they'll be doing now, they'll be growing rice and sending it, shipping it to feed the Chinese population that's growing and getting better economically every day. And if they don't ship it, they'll sell it within Africa. You only make money when you do business. When you have a job, you don't make money. It's something I learned from my grandfather. My grandfather was a businessman, a very successful businessman. The only reason I was able to travel to go and study abroad was because of my grandfather. It wasn't even my father, but that's what happens when you leave behind a business instead of, because when you die, if you are a doctor, everything that you learn goes with you, But when you do business, you can leave that to the next generation, and that generation can leave it to the other generation. And I know some people will say, family businesses only last 3 generations, but that's where you have to be smart. So the way you do that now, because you know that it's not going to last, is you let professionals come in. You sell some shares of the business and you own part of the business. The business gets bigger, your money grows, and, successful families are benefiting from that. Family members don't have to necessarily run the business. They could just be part of the board. You get smart, but doing business is the way to become wealthy. So how do we counteract this Chinese invasion of Africa? The way we do it is by becoming smart. By knowing who the enemy is. And this is one thing I found out. Africans on the continent, just like our ancestors, I think I said this in my previous videos, our ancestors hundreds of years ago didn't realize who the enemy was, and they paid for it. Africans on the continent don't. And this is how I know they don't. I'm a victim of that. It had to leave Africa to actually love Africa. I'm not even joking here, man. I had to leave, I'll repeat this, I had to leave Africa to love Africa. Because when you are in Africa, the education that we have we are not being educated, we are being indoctrinated. There's a difference. And after that indoctrination, because when we finish here, I was in Zambia, when you finish grade 12, you have a paper that says you've got what did we used to call it in Zambia? 6 points. That means you've aced the 6 subjects or 5 subjects or something like that. And that's all. You got 6 points. There's nothing else that you got out of there. You know, first of all, the laboratories are crap. So even like learning how to maybe, you know, make soap, you're not gonna be able to do it because there's not enough equipment in the laboratories back then. I don't know if things have improved, but there's 90% chance things haven't changed. So when you complete your grade 12, all you have is a paper that says you've done physics and chemistry and or biology and whatever. You can't use it. So you have to go to university or do something like that. You know, and by the time we complete it, we've become so Europeanized in the way we think. You know, in the way we think and the way we do things, we've become Europeanized. And you start seeing places like London, you know, New York, or any other place in America, Australia, as these are the places to go when you are educated. You know, and that's not the, and I was part of that. I fell into that, you know. So I left Africa for me to realize just how much Africa has to offer, for me to actually love the place. A lot of Africans right now, they're trying to leave Africa. You know, one of the famous motivational speaker, I can't remember his name. What was his name? I think Bob Proctor even talks about him. It tells a story that I think he might have read this story about the acres of gold or something, or acres of diamond or something like that in Africa, where a farmer sold his farm to go look for gold somewhere else within Africa. You know, in this case, within Africa. You know, and someone who bought that land realized, they found out where that farm was, it was filled with gold. That's the same analogy we can use today to see what's happening. Like Africans are leaving Africa, and then the Asians, the Arabs, and all these other people come into Africa and they get rich. And people leave Africa to go to America, to go to Europe, to go to Australia. They're not getting rich there. You know, you have to work. You work and work and work and work and work and work. By the time you retire, you go to Africa, you've wasted all your energy developing these other countries with little benefit. When your country has diamonds in its backyard, you know, when your country has gold in its backyard, when your country has oil in its backyard, but you know what? When we get when we go to school and we become indoctrinated, we start to believe that Africa is poor. And that's how they want us to see it. This is a poor place. I'm an educated fella now. I'm going to put on a tie, you know, and I'm going to go to these places and I'm going to become wealthy. We got that wrong. The Chinese are coming and they're going to take over. And we're going to be people who are landless, where we are not wanted in Europe or America or Australia. You know, we are not wanted. You know, it's just the truth. You know, you can say whatever you want to say. That's just the truth, right? And the only place that's where we will never be called foreign, where we can say and claim our identity, is being taken over. You know, the Chinese don't have to come there and colonize and become president and all that stuff. Now, that's not the way they're going to do it. They're smart. They've spent time studying us and studying colonization. And they've looked at how things went wrong. And they're coming there and they've strategized economic control. So you're going to find all these Africans working for the Chinese. You know, everything owned by the Chinese. You know, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them and there's few of us. Everything is going to be owned by them because they have the money. They're being supported by their bank. You know, with interest rates that are so great, will make even the dumbest person, dumbest investor, dumbest entrepreneur to make money. You know, so when you get controlled economically, that's it. You can look at South Africa. What happened during apartheid? Black people provided labor. 10% of the population made all the profits. You know, that's why there's that divide in South Africa. Black people are still starving. There's white people who are starving, but even the white people who are starving, it's because they just screwed up. You know, they probably were rich, wasted their money, and now they're starving, or they're on drugs, or something like that. You know, but otherwise they're still very rich, and they're still in control of the economy. You know, and if we're not careful, that's what's going to be repeated across Africa. So, how do we fix this? How do we counteract this Chinese invasion, you know, high-tech invasion of Africa? This is one thing I found out by looking at YouTube's videos posted, and that's a good thing about the internet, because it's making Africans connect. You know, by looking at Africans in Brazil, like South America, and what happened to them, by looking at Africans in the Caribbean, in Guyana, and all these places, you realize we have the same problem. We have the same problem. How do we change that? And we have to come together. First of all, we belong to the richest continent on the planet. 30% of natural reserves are in Africa. 30%. If there's 7 continents here, that means we're doubling on everybody. You know, so why are we poor? That's the question we gotta ask ourselves. Why are we poor? And this is where we need to come together. I like what Dr. Arikana Chombori is doing. That's good. I like what Sister Ina Tada, what she's doing, and that's great. You know, and we need more of these platforms where we can go, you know what? There's $1 billion contract. There's $5 billion that we need to build this hydro station. And the Chinese comes up and they do all these dodgy deals and all that stuff. But we can be able to go there and say, okay, we're gonna do this. We have enough skilled people who can do it in the diaspora, and we need to go back and do it. You know, we need to buy land. The most important thing, this is where now I come in. The most one diaspora group that needs to come on board urgently is the Americans. The so-called African Americans, crap. It's Africans who live in America. You know, we need that group now more than ever. And I'm gonna tell you, all these African Americans, you gotta stop all this crap about Africans don't like us and all this crap. It's all lies. It's all lies. You go to Africa and find out if Africans don't like you. You know, why is it that you go to Europe where they don't like you for real, but you choose not to go to Africa because Africans don't like us? BS. That's a lot of bullshit. Why are you going? What makes you think they love you in Europe? No, they don't. You know they don't. But you still go. You know, try Africa. Try going to Africa. Okay? And there's people who are already doing this. You know, start looking these things up. Look at the people that are developing real estate in Ghana and Uganda and Tanzania, who are African Americans and making money. Look at some of these African Americans who raised, you know, who like it took them years to raise $30,000 US. But when they go to Africa within 18 months, they quadrupled the $30,000 because of the businesses they're doing there, because of how easy it is to make money over there. And that's the mindset we want with you African Americans when you know to connect with Africa. You know, you're not gonna have McDonald's at every corner. So when you get there, maybe the sugar withdrawal might hit you and you might struggle a little bit. But believe me, try to cook something healthy. You know, because food there is organic and it's cheap. You know, you go there and just have that mindset of. So you want to go there with the mindset of, you know, I'm going to go there and I'm going to make it. You know, why do we need to come together as Africans? Because it doesn't matter where you live. If you're black, you're African. And our destiny depends on the development of Africa. You know, if Africa was developed, we would have our own war equipment to a point where if someone is messing with Haiti, we can go there and defend them and protect them. You know, when we come together, we're going to have a stronger bargaining power. The American economy really depends on black people because black people spend money. Apparently it's almost like $3 trillion spending power that 40 something million African in America have of spending power. Why don't we connect that to the $3 trillion in Africa? That gives us, we've become a $6 trillion economy. $6 trillion economy. We'll be like number 4 or something like that in the world. What do I mean by this? This means the same thing the Chinese are trying to do. We study our enemy and we beat them at that because that's our land. Right now, I'll give you an example. Botswana has the biggest diamond producer in the world is Botswana. Congo, gold. Zimbabwe, gold. There's gold everywhere in Africa. Everywhere. Diamonds, Congo, Sierra Leone, all that stuff. Let's have Africans owning these mines. And the way we do that is we need the Africans on the continent and the Africans in the diaspora, and we need the African American to come on board. We need you to come on board. Because if you don't, it's going to take us too long. But when you guys come, this is one thing you got to realize. It's like what Dr. Arigana Chihombori says. The things that Africans went through who were taken from Africa to America, the people that survived, it was survival of the fittest. The group that got to America was probably the fittest group that was in Africa. And this is why we need you. Because you guys, you've been through slavery, Jim Crow, you've done Black Panther, you fought so hard. And you understand the enemy. You do understand the enemy. And this is what we want you. And when you come to Africa, don't come with like, hey, I'm an American. And this and this. No. Come in, work with us. And then teach us in the process. The approach has to be different. Because when you come because Africans are also like do their own thing, So when you come in and you think, oh yeah, I'm just going to tell them what to do, then it's not going to work. Come in, be humble, join us. If the Chinese are buying land, you come here and buy land and employ Africans. And this will be the difference. The difference is you pay the Africans the money they deserve. Because there's a bit of love there. Because our goal is to uplift every African, not to exploit them. Every black people. Every black person in the world. Oprah built a school in South Africa. And that was one of the few that got upset with her. I've never met Oprah or anything like that. I know she's a billionaire and she's done very well. But when she opened the school, I just thought that was some white thinking mentality. And there are people, oh, it's a school, girl power. I'm like, nah, that's not what we need. Come on, Oprah. You go to South Africa, you open a school. Buy a mine. She should have bought a mine. Right now, she could have employed a lot of women, given them managerial jobs, and they're getting good money. What we need is to control the African resources. So if we get the diamonds from Botswana, the Africans dig it. The Africans process it, the Africans polish it. We get the iron ore, same process. The Africans dig it, the African process. We get copper, same process. If anything, copper should be leaving Africa as a finished product. Not every. When you get copper, let's process it. Let's make all the whatever they use them for, the cables and all these things. By the time it leaves Africa, it's a finished product. And when it leaves Africa, it gets on a ship that is African owned. It gets to America into a factory that's African owned. It gets sorted out by Africans. It gets into the retail shops, if it's the diamonds that are African owned. And then we sell it to everyone else. And that's the only way we're going to be able to fight the Chinese, and we're going to be able to fight racism in America. I'm not telling you to leave America. If you want to leave, cool. But what I'm telling you is be dual citizenship. You belong to America. You've created America just as much as everyone else has. If anything, you've built that country and you haven't benefited from it. Now what you need to do to speed up the process, don't wait for those guys to give you 40 acres. Go to Africa and buy your 40 acres. And start growing stuff. Let's start farming. And this is not for every African in America. It's not going to happen like that. Some people, they love it and they're having a great time. And that's cool. We're not asking for everyone to do it. But if only even 10% of the entrepreneurs connected with the continent and started producing these jobs and they started making money, I know we'll start employing. Right now, the most educated woman in America is a black woman. We'll be giving these women work and they're getting paid well, and we're going to have an exodus of Africans in America going back to the motherland. They'll have nice houses waiting for them. They'll have good reception at the airport. No this profiling and all that crap. You have the police escort. Not the police that are killing you. And that's the way we start getting better. We need to come together. You guys know the enemy. The Africans in Africa, the indoctrination they get from school, and the poverty that has been placed on them by force is so great that they can't even think. They're like zombies over there. They'll worship anybody who's lighter, be it Chinese, be it Indian, be it white. They worship them. And we need to get there with them and teach them to say this is the wrong way to go about it. And that's what these people need. The people need an awakening. It's happening right now, but at a slow pace. We need to start questioning everything. Everything. I know the stuff is special for the people in America. I've realized these people are more African than the Africans on the continent. If you go to Brazil, they even have their own tradition. They even have their own dance. And that's so African. It's like they so badly want to connect to the continent. But it's like the continent doesn't want to connect with them. And that's our problem. We need to connect with everybody. We need to all come on board. Platform that Dr. Arikana is talking about. If you don't want to be part of the platform, cool, you can do it yourself. Look at a British guy who started a company in Ghana called Blue Skies. The guy is making $120 million profit right now just from cocoa, mango, all these tropical fruits, and turning them into products and selling them to the European market. Why don't we do the same thing in almost every country in Africa? Turn into products and sell it on the American market. And all that, every stage of that, from farming to food processing to getting into the market, is all controlled by black people. We can match. We can have million men matches and Selma matches. And we all know, we've tried that for 400 years. It hasn't worked. They just put a spin on it. Slavery is ended, but hey, there comes Jim Crow. Oh, Jim Crow has ended. There comes prison. There's more black men in prison right now in America and being used as cheap labor than there was black men in slavery in the 1800s. So what are you talking about? Things are getting better. Make up your mind. Make a conscious decision. If whatever job you do, start saving up slowly. There's plenty of land. If in Ghana right now, you go to Ghana, there's land waiting for you. That is the only way we'll be able to counteract the Asians. You have to go there and create jobs for these Africans, for the Africans on the continent, and pay them well. Differentiate yourself from the Asians. Treat them better. And then in the process, teach them. Help them get rid of the indoctrination. If we can do that, we're going to put our continent on the path to success. Because just remember, and I'll keep saying this, the destiny of every black person on this planet is intertwined with the destiny of Africa. Look what Steve Harvey is doing. I like what Steve Harvey is doing, but what I want Steve Harvey to do is get in touch with Oprah, get in touch with Michael Jordan, get in touch with Jay-Z, get in touch with Kanye West, get in touch with all these other non-celebrity black Americans that are rich. Let's have a company. Sino-China is in Africa right now. You guys come up with a company called Pan-African Co. All I ask for is that among you guys who are billionaires, put together $300 million, which use that to invest directly into mines and indirectly into people that are willing, that entrepreneurs, because that's the one thing that Africans are having issues with, is access to money. Open up a Pan-African bank, a mines and banks where people with ideas can go and get taught how to do business by Africans from America who understand the business and how to treat themselves and how to challenge authority, and how to stand up to white people. Because this is the thing. In Africa, white people are Jesus Christ. When you say white person, you see Jesus. Because that's the indoctrination. That's what it's done to us. And it needs you guys to come in there and teach these people to say, nah, Carl there, stand this way, shake a man with a firm hand. Let them know that you mean business. Let's not have this, Africans are this and this. We're missing out. We are missing out. Because believe me, if these rich Africans in America can put this $300 million together, within 18 months, your $300 million will become $3 billion within a few months. And then after that, before you know it, you're going to create the first $1 trillion company. You can surpass Apple. Look what they did in Arabia. Their company is now worth, I don't know if it's $1 trillion. You can create the first multi-trillion-dollar company. If we don't do it, if we don't come together, the Chinese are going to take over. And once that's done, you're going to see the repercussions is going to go throughout the world. Every African, every black person in the world is going to suffer as a consequence of that. Because already, Africans, Americans, you are in trouble in America. Very soon, you just become a smaller population. That no one is even politically not going to have the influence you've had for the past 400 years when you were the second largest group. Now you are third. The Latinos are taking over. The Chinese and the Asians are going to come over and they're going to take the third position. You guys will be at the bottom. No one will even going to care about you. But you can change that by creating your own economy. Just look at the Jews. The smallest population there, but they got so much power. You know why? Because money gives you power. And you guys belong to the richest continent on the planet. And I'm asking you to come together with the Africans. Not just, this is every black person in the diaspora, from Antigua to London, from Rio de Janeiro to Cairo, from Rio to Nairobi, all you guys, everyone, we come together and start creating some corporations that's going to benefit Africans, black people on this continent. I'm tired of feeling sorry for black people. Just the other day I was reading something, an NHS worker in England got beaten up. So she's in hospital helping out. Helping people get better. And then when she leaves, the relatives of the same people she was helping out end up attacking her to the point just because she's black. I'm tired of that. We can cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. Let's stop the crying and start acting. I challenge every African in the diaspora, every black person in the diaspora, own something in Africa. If you can't own it physically, become part of something. And everyone who knows Steve Harvey, please tag him this video. I want to tell the brother to say, you know what, you have the power, you're the guy who can meet all these people. Come together and own some mines, own like a bank, There's no point in you guys having all this money and not putting it to good use. You can have all this money, but as long as your people are suffering, it's worthless. We need to come together and create a prosperous black race. Just like Marcus Garvey said, the only thing that let Marcus Garvey down was the people that didn't understand his vision. And that's what I'm saying. It's not every African American or every African in the diaspora, just the people that understand the vision, so that we can start planning, not for 20, not for 30, but for 300 years in advance. Remember, if you've ever wrote a letter called Will Lynch letter, this is like in the 1700s. This guy was talking about enslaving Africans for 300 to even 1,000 years. And we still, if you look at the stuff he was describing there, it's happening today. We need something like that where we can talk about something right now that's going to affect us and change our lives for the better for the next 300, 500,000 years, from now. That's the only way we prosper. Stop being this, help us, forgive us, and trying to become people you are not. So ask everyone. We are under attack in Africa. It's not just the continent that's under attack. It's the black race that's under attack. And the way we do it is we get involved and fight back. Buy our land. Start telling some of these presidents how to behave. Because some of them have a gun pointed to their head. They're always under stress. That's why at the end of the day they choose, do I work for my people, or do I work for these evil people that just are interested in money? And sometimes to leave, they choose to work, to go down with the devil. It's just the way it is. But if we can go there and say, we got your back, we're going to expose what's happening right now, and the whole world will see this. Give them that confidence. Sometimes that's all they need. Congo, something's already boiling up there, and very soon the whole country is going to go back to war. Why? You're going to start asking yourself this question. Why is it that it's only the richest countries in Africa that are always at war? Why is this illusion that Africa is poor? And they ask innocent people across the world to help Africa. When Africa, underneath, Africa is helping every other place in the world. But on the surface, everyone else has this belief that we need help. No, we don't need help. We don't need a savior. If you want to come to Africa for anybody, come there to trade. But we need to come together, start having good governments, good presidents, so that there's some laws that can be set up to prevent all these foreigners from buying land. Because once you don't have land, you're in trouble. And encourage the return of Africans in the diaspora. And I mean the diaspora even from 400 years. So retain. Give them citizenship like the way Ghana is doing it. There's African Americans in almost every country you go to in Africa right now. This wasn't the case 10, 15, 20 years ago. But it's happening. It's a slow process, but it's happening. We need to speed it up. And when these people come, some of them have really good business ideas. We don't want the Crips and Bloods. You can have those, America. America can have the Crips and Bloods. We want black men who can come, establish something, and help Africa move forward. Because once Africa moves forward, every black person on this earth benefits. Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel. And I'll be posting more videos. Goodbye.